Greetings, viewers. In this must-see video that I encourage you to watch until the very end, we'll uncover the top 14 stealthy yet critical symptoms signaling creeping liver damage that requires your urgent medical attention. Protecting your internal filter, the liver, is mission critical to sustain life, given it tirelessly performs over 500 absolutely vital roles non-stop behind the scenes to support bodily health. Early detection and swift decisive action provides the genuinely priceless chance to halt subtly advancing liver disease in its early tracks before it becomes far more difficult to address. I'll be exploring the liver damage warning signs in order from subtle to severe so you can connect the dots before it's too late and disease progresses beyond the point of no return. When the liver becomes chronically backlogged and overburdened filtering dietary fats and proteins over time due to emerging illness, it severely hampers and eventually halts critical digestive bile production and absorption of nutrients from food necessary to fuel and heal the body. As a result, nausea progressively builds to intolerable levels along with distaste for once favorite nourishing foods high in protein. Expect the gradual emergence of elongated, veiny spider webs, especially on the facial skin and torso as systemic hormonal shifts and vitamin deficiencies subtly yet irreversibly damage delicate subsurface blood vessels. Also observe if the palms of hands and soles of feet growing persistently reddish in coloration, as this freakish skin discoloration serves to signal circulating blood pressure escalations internally overworking and straining the heart muscle. And never ignore advancing jaundice resulting in increasing skin yellowing, which speaks to soaring bilirubin accumulations inside when an increasingly diseased liver completely fails to keep pace with metabolizing and eliminating waste byproducts of digestion. Relentless nonstop activity required of the liver as it attempts to address the mounting toxic backup ultimately piles higher and higher over months and years, continually exhausting body and mind by siphoning away essential energy reserves. Attention, alertness, and short-term memory function fades more rapidly day by day as overall mental clarity clouds, paving the way much later on for concerning neurological issues like dementia, gross forgetfulness, and profound confusion. Restful sleep grows virtually impossible to achieve and maintain as relentless and haunting physical sensations of abdominal swelling, cramping, and digestion issues keep one awake combined with roller coaster chemical messengers clouding cognition and emotional state courtesy of advancing diseased liver complications. Energy and motivation nosedives ever faster as the unrelenting decline in overall health accelerates into a people downward spiral. In the early stages of emerging liver disease, nausea often suppresses appetite for nutrition, leading to gradual shedding of pounds and muscle mass over time. But when liver cirrhosis ultimately sets in, it dangerously accelerates and intensifies, wasting muscle loss and malnutrition risk tenfold in those affected. Because the body resorts to aggressively cannibalizing and breaking down healthy lean muscle tissue stores internally to liberate trace protein fragments, it attempts to utilize as weakened backup fuel sources in order to barely keep vital organs struggling to function. In the end, without proper and prompt medical treatment. Even this survival process fails to prevent strength and vitality fading to oblivion as the body eats itself from the inside out in order to survive the mounting internal liver crisis. Advanced cirrhosis leads to excessive abdominal fluid accumulation that remorselessly stretches and painfully distends the entire belly, causing heavy discomfort and digestive distress as nutrient-rich blood struggles returning back from the digestive organs through radically restricted vessels that continue shrinking. And since the overtaxed spleen sits just underneath the left rib cage, it too swells and enlarges significantly in response to the liver crisis, angrily radiating discernible diffuse upper left quadrant aches and pains that worsen over time. When bile flow from the liver becomes severely reduced or fully ceases because liver cells sustaining damage, toxic digestive waste buildup internally assaults skin nerve networks, provoking agonizing full-body itching sensations paired with razor-sharp prickling and burning of the skin. These relentless horrific sensations grate on nerves and sanity like nails on a chalkboard both day and night. The maddening itch permeates all realms of life-straining relationships, work productivity, and even the will to carry on. As the condition advances, the pattern of bowel movements shifts notably back and forth between two extremes with alternating periods of painful obstinate constipation followed by spells of urgent watery diarrhea, as essential nutrient absorption falters and digestion suffers without adequate liver-produced bile to emulsify fats. And over time, stool itself takes on a freaky pale clay-colored consistency, or even chalk white, because the liver no longer effectively generates or releases beneficial bile packed with vital pigments into the intestines give stool its stereotypical brown coloration and texture. Troubling urine color changes to an unusual dark amber, brown or even tea-like tone results directly from soaring concentrations of excess bilirubin pigment, normally destined to be discarded and excreted out embedded harmlessly within digestive waste. However, failing livers permit bilirubin to take an abnormal shortcut detour ride through kidney blood filtration tubules instead of heading down the intestines where it belongs. This freakish phenomenon known as bilirubinemia alerts medical professionals about something ominous brewing behind the scenes requiring further investigation, especially when paired with other shared symptoms on this list. Liver injury stemming from disease impairs and cripples production of many critically essential clotting proteins that normally enable speedy blood coagulation whenever small or large vessels become damaged whether externally or internally. Without these key compounds generated inside liver cells, humans tend to bruise more easily and experience prolonged minor to severe bleeding events from relatively trivial cuts, scrapes, and wounds that should otherwise quickly seal. And random spontaneous nosebleeds or bleeding from fragile gum tissues strike suddenly and flow uncontrollably as inflamed blood vessels buried deeper inside rupture without clots to limit damage. Insidious fluid retention inside blood vessels ultimately seeps downward against gravity, causing uncomfortable and obvious puffy lower legs, calves, and ankles over time as injured livers progressively lose capacity to both balance blood vessel pressures to prevent leakage, while simultaneously generating oncotic proteins which retain fluids safely inside vascular compartments. If things deteriorate far enough, weeping fluids may pool around the lower lungs or abdominal cavity, leading to shortness of breath or ascites. And diseased, overtaxed livers also wreak devastating havoc on less visible parts like finger and toenails. Assorted nail complaints ranging from fungal infections manifesting as thickened yellow debris called onychomycosis to strange longitudinal ridges, unusual white spots, nail bed separation, and full-thickness deformities emerge insidiously in up to 68% of liver disease sufferers, signaling dramatic nutrient absorption issues and toxicity accumulations internally that must be resolved medically before permanent external manifestations arise. Imbalanced liver hormone production significantly alters critical sex steroid hormones like testosterone and estrogen, which subsequently wreaks absolute havoc on fertility and libido, while also sending sexual performance plummeting. Erectile dysfunction and vaginal dryness risks rocket beyond normal baselines when liver diseases go unmanaged over long timeframes. Testicular atrophy may arise too. So don't ignore fading sexual drive or function as the canary in the coal mine, calling attention to brewing health crises. And lastly, foul fishy breath emanating from the mouth that persists hours after brushing and seems resistant to all forms of standard dental hygiene methods presents itself as an final undeniable warning sign when diseased livers finally stop adequately filtering away digested waste sulfur compounds like skunky mercaptans that build up internally and then escape outward through the lungs. Unlike standard bad breath triggers, this intense offensive death-like odor cannot and will not be conveniently masked or obscured using mouthwash, breath mints, salt water rinses, or any other tricks once it appears, because root causes relate to accumulating metabolic toxins internally rather than external factors involving foods or bacteria exploitable through dental care measures alone. Long story short, take this frightening red flag very seriously and seek medical evaluation stat. And those were just 14 of the most prominent and frequently seen symptoms signaling liver injury, often attributable to advancing illness, that all of us need to recognize sooner rather than later. Catching problems early gives us the precious gift of time to completely halt health decline through urgent medical investigation before it's too late. So, which liver disease symptoms listed resonated most with your personal situation? Have you noticed any show up yourself or amongst loved ones that may warrant further discussions with doctors? What proactive steps can you take starting today? Shield your liver from harm and support detoxification. Protect your irreplaceable liver daily by intentionally reducing obvious toxin exposures from all modifiable sources in your environment, so it keeps functioning efficiently to perform its 500+ responsibilities needed to sustain longevity. Please smash those like and subscribe buttons to support the channel if you found this educational liver health video helpful, or would enjoy seeing more hard-hitting content about organ health in the future. and let everyone know in the comments what liver health facts or topics matter most to your family given the immense importance of this vital organ for filtering blood, regulating nutrients, producing proteins, and keeping toxins at bay. Thanks so much for watching, and I wish you incredible health going forward. Until next time, take good care.